Okay, Dr. Suhail, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Sir, hope you are doing good
Fine.
and everything is fine from your side. Well, sir, what else one can wish on a hot summer day to enjoy a chinar shade like this one as we are doing this time? The Iqbalian verse, as have been discussing it quite often, the Iqbalian verse that's resonating in my mind right now, I would like your good self to throw some light on it. I quote a famous verse from Armagane Hijaz portion of Allama Iqbal alayhi rahma. जिस खाक के ज़मीर में है आतश चनार, जिस खाक के ज़मीर में है आतश चनार, मुमकिन नहीं कि सर्द हो वो खाके अर्जुमन. It's a very famous verse, Dr. Suhail. Would you like, sir, to throw some light on this? Your take, please.
So maybe I am not a critical literary theorist in the conventional sense of the word. Maybe proper literary criticism
Poetic, yes.
who are engaged with this field, they may just disagree or agree, whatever that is. So my what I could say foray into interpretation of these verses can be personal and somewhat you can say
Some may like it, some may don't.
no, it's like your engagement. You just
Yeah.
आपने मुझे इसमें है ना, you have just condemned me to just
Yes.
to interpret.
Because you are actually, sorry to interrupt you, because you have read Iqbal widely.
Even one is once you read Iqbal is read as a poet by poets.
Right, sir.
So poets need not to explain. Just like if I quote a mathematician Hardy, he says statesmen, politicians hate publicists, artists hate art critics, mathematicians hate people who write what is mathematics. So in that sense, poetic sensibility is different from a literary theorist or a literary critic. But even in literary criticism also, how a poet has written a verse, it may have many meanings or many interpretations to different people, to different genres, and the meanings also get expanded from one generation as time passes on. Because whatever that poet has said or heard or it might have been reverberating his era or his own sensibility. So my reading or anybody's reading is subjective. The point is, can two readings may agree or disagree? So even if that disagreement is allowed, so that what reading may be that of a professional literary critic or an amateur or a person who is just interpreting it. So if I will not take myself as a proper literary critic of Iqbalian poetry, since we are on this chinar tree, having shades of the chinar tree, so chinar is a very majestic, it has some majestic thing, and it has a life of 300, 400, 500 years. So maybe this chinar tree, it is witness to a lifetime or time which is very long, this tree. So if you say it's a being, it's having a memory, it is having a shade, so it is also having a memory of which is beyond our human memory. So in that sense, it's majestic. So now once you quote जिस खाके ज़मीर में हो आतिश चिनार, so a land. So for example, this time it's not autumn. So once Khizan comes, the autumn comes. This time it's green. So once autumn comes, these green leaves, they may become, their color may change, and they can be ignited very fast. So they can catch fire fast. So even though they may have energy, but once with winter comes, they go into debris of soil. So even that fire and zest and energy, that is somehow buried inside that what I should say surrounding tree. So this memory, this energy, this zest, zeal, so this khak mein ho,
मुमकिन नहीं कि सर्द हो वो खा के अर्जुन.
So the land which is surrounding this chirrar tree, it has that energy and zest and fire. It's just, even though it might seem buried, it might seem calm, but it's not in that sense. It's not calm. There's a lot of potential.
It
in
is latent there.
and there is potentiality in it
Potential.
to come again. So maybe Iqbal is having a recurring. If you read Iqbal, one portion of Iqbal is as a poet, as an aesthete, literary aesthete, or as an emotive, how he just gives clothes, words with meanings, which as a poet. The other part is as a societal being, how he sees, how he reacts or responds to society, its injustices, its good things, its virtues, what he hates or what he wants to preserve, or what he, if there is something lacking in his own society, he feels that this Muslim civilization or the societies in which he is living in, they have something in them. So their decadence is not it's not permanent. It can be temporary. So beneath that land, this fire, it holds that fire in it, and it needs proper in physics what we call space-time conditions, proper boundary values or boundary conditions to just come to realize that your potential should realize whatever that potential may be. Potential of self-actualization as a nation. So it's like encouragement in that sense.
A little more, sir, I want to ask you, the word Zamir. What does he refer to? What is the word Zamir here confer?
Zamir is that
जिस खा के ज़मीर में.
Zamir is more, it's not a, one is
Is he speaking to the conscience of the people?
one is self, one is known as cognitive self.
Right.
The another is known as cognitive self with a sense of morality attached to it. So
Fine.
Zamir, you can say that cognitive self which has some moral dimensions which can be attached to it, and those moral dimensions can be virtues which may be derived from religion, or you can say those innate spiritual values which can be part of the cognitive what actually is consciousness.
And just pondering over this very verse a little deeper, if one can dig it a little deeper, the second line, mumkin nahi, means Iqbal is having a staunch belief. Mumkin nahi, that he's
In a sense, he is also trying to encourage people. People who are despondent,
Yes.
nations who are despondent, or human beings who are despondent, who don't
come
feel
out
a
of that
sense
from
of hope.
that, yes, depression.
So
and all.
sometimes a tiger is there, but he is not. You might be having a lot of energy, but you are not conscious of your own self, your hidden potentials, your latent qualities. He is trying to ignite them.
Ignite them.
So in that process, one is part of self-recognition. The other is articulation of that recognition to the people who are in need of that articulation. That you need to really come up to boost your confidence, and as such.
Yes.
So in the background, you can take. So here I'll critique Iqbal in some sense, one sense. So if you want to have there can be many interpretations of history. One interpretation of history is like nations rise and fall. They can go up. The way Ibn Khaldun says that it takes 3 generations for example, a power elite in the first generation. There's something called, he used the word asbiya. A leader in a society, he unites tribes on something called asbiya. And when it passes, it's the first page of that thing. And then he passes it to the next generation, who consolidates his son or whatever, his progeny. But the third generation feels that as if these qualities are innate to them. And they don't have those qualities of being rugged, forthright, and just that energy once you make empire. So there are stages of going up, reaching a plateau and then going down. So there is a sort of inevitability attached to it. But as far as Iqbal is concerned, Iqbal feels he's very much emotionally attached in some sense to it. He's saying that we can come again back. So maybe the historical forces which have led to decadence, it might have passed to some stage. You might have completed the circle before something new will come in the form. So why you need to be worried? Even Quran says that why you should. This world is a testing place. Whether you are powerful or whether you are weak. If you are powerful, you will be tested that you should not be indulgent in your power. Or if you are weak, you will be, or if you are not, you will be tested that if you have sabr. So it's not whether you are powerful or whether you are weak. Whether आप उरूज पे हो या आपकी ज़वाल पे, this does not matter. You will be tested according to your own boundary conditions. So ultimate aim of life is not to. It may be one of the things. Like
But sorry to interrupt you, sir. I don't disagree this way point of yours. The point you have mentioned, Uruj and Zawal, it is bound if you are talking about a Muslim community or say or any other community.
There are various interpretations to
That's
what
what
I.
I'm-
No, Iqbalian interpretation is this. There can be other interpretations.
Yes, yes.
So if you, as a Muslim, if you are living under occupation, still you will be tested. Can you have a patience or not?
Yes, yes.
God has put you into difficult conditions.
No, but you have to struggle.
If you are powerful,
if
you are
have to
powerful,
struggle for your rights and.
So that's the test.
That's what
if you
I'm
are
saying.
powerful, still you are tested. If you are powerless, you are
You know,
tested.
when you have to talk about Uruj and Zawal, so you have to strive and struggle for the
So
betterment.
that's why the anxiety in Iqbal is like that. He was living in colonial era, so he was also interpreting this is one interpretation. You can have another interpretation that
You are absolutely
you
right.
can see this way also, if you want to.
That's good. So nicely put. And yes, a cool breeze under these majestic, as you have mentioned, majestic chinar trees, and it was just resonating. So nice of you, and good that you have discussed this very verse in much better way. Though you have put your own version as well, having the critical side of it. So let me conclude it with this way. Another Iqbalian verse of the famous poem Ek Arizu. हो हाथ का सरहाना सब्जे का हो बिछोना शर्माए जिससे जलवत खलवत में वो मज़ा. So on that note, let us conclude it, and thank you very much, sir. May Allah bless you.
Next time I would want to say
Yes,
we
please.
should have the no Iqbal and history.
Okay,
So it's a very wonderful topic.
that is good.
So in that maybe we will not say, exclusively focus on Iqbal.
Yeah.
We can focus on maybe Toynbee,
Yes, yes, sure.
Marx. You can have Ibn Khaldun.
Yeah.
So the process of history.
Process of history.
One thing interesting thing is that history, documentation of history, the way proper historian does it. So if we are reading history through poetry,
History through poetry.
for example, the poetic verses in a certain era, does it speak something about that era or not?
Yes.
Can history be extracted from that era?
That from those very poetic
No, no.
lines.
Not only poetry, folklore, poetry.
That's what I'm saying.
Can poetry be a proper
Medium.
Can we extract history from it? So it's a question. I'll just leave it there.
Well, so nice of you. Thank you very much. May Allah bless you.
Thanks.
Jazakallah.
Jazakallah.